Okay, for the correlation and regression, so this is the sixth subtopic under the data management. So what is correlation? So it has a description that it is a statistical method used to determine if a linear relationship or association between variables exists. And if we're going to compute the correlation manually, so we do have this formula. So we do have the R, so that is the sub x y. So x is one variable being correlated with another variable y. And so we do have the description here below, wherein if we do have x, so that is an individual value, so that is for the first set of data. Say for example, you do have the height of cadets, and then for the x bar, so you're going to compute for the mean. And then for the y, so you do have another set of data, say for example, the weight of the cadets. And then for the y bar, so that is the mean of the weights. And you're just going to substitute it here in this formula. However, take note that on the numerator, we do have the summation. So it is the same way as we did with the computation of the variance as well as the standard deviation, wherein we had the summation of um, two symbols, if you can remember. So that is the individual value um, minus the mean. Then after that, you're going to square and then you're gonna add it. Um, Depending on the number of variables that you do have in your data, or depending on the total number of values or the size. So it is the same as with this, wherein you do have the individual value, so that is the x sub I, minus the mean, so that is the x bar. After you get the difference of this, you're going to multiply it with the value, the individual value on the other set, minus the mean of the said other set or your second set. Then after multiplying, you're gonna add it again and again until you completely substituted all the values that you do have. So say for example, you do have 15 values per set. So you're gonna have 15 pairings of this wherein you're going to multiply. And then divided by the square root of the summation of the square of the difference of the individual value and the mean, and then times the summation of the square of the individual value and the mean also. So this is for each data set. However, class, I'm not gonna ask you to do the computation manually. So as what I mentioned before. So, well, I'll let you use the technology that is available. But before that, so let us take a look at this correlation. So if you do have this illustration, well, you can see that we do have three types of correlation here. So you do have a positive correlation, negative correlation, and then no relationship. So for the positive correlation, so say for example, you do have your first variable or first set of values on your x, and then you do have your another set of values along the y. So you're just going to plot the points. Just for example, this red dot here, the very first one, so above the P. If this let's just say that this is 2, okay, 2 units. So that is for your x, and then 1 unit for your y. So the point of intersection would be this point. And then the same with, well, this point here. So this is on the third unit for x, and then on the fourth unit for y. So you're just gonna plot the point of intersection. By the way, class, be reminded that when it comes to the correlation, you don't jumble the values. So you should have a pairing. For example, um, the weight of a cadet and his height, or his height and his weight. So you're going to plot it here. The point of intersection that will actually represent the values. And when it comes to the correlation class, so um in statistics, so remember we do have dependent and independent variables. We do have the x and y. In correlation, well, we don't need to determine which is the independent or dependent, as long as you do have two variables being correlated. Okay? So for the positive correlation, so you can see that the points are increasing from left going to right. So we do have positive correlation. So this means that as as x increases, so we can also say that y also increases. Or as x tends to increase, y tends to increase also. And the same way, when x decreases, so y also decreases. For the negative correlation, so this is how it looks like. It is actually decreasing. So what does it mean? When x increases, y decreases. And when x decreases, y increases. So it means the other way around. Okay? Um, on the third one, so on the third illustration, so we do have here no relationship. For the no relationship, well, it means that whatever happens to one of the variables, um, another variable, well, we cannot tell what will happen to it, whether will it increase or decrease, because again, there's no relationship. Next, so we do have here the list of coefficients as well as the interpretation. Because we do have the correlation coefficient R in the formula a while ago, and that R, so it can have a value from -1 to 1. So if the value is exactly -1, so we can have an interpretation that there is a perfect negative correlation or relationship between two variables. Perfect negative. Next, we do have -0.76 to -0.99. So it means very high negative correlation. We do have the others. So we do have high, moderate, very small. If we do have R of 0.00, so it means no correlation. And then if we do have positive values of R, So we do have positive correlation. So we do have the very small, moderately small, positive, the high, very high, and then perfect positive correlation, which is 1.00. So class, later, I'll be showing an example of the correlation. So before that, let us have the next. What is a linear regression? A linear regression, so this is a regression, a statistical technique that is used to analyze the relationship between variables involving one independent variable. So class, if you can remember, when it comes to the correlation, we don't have dependent and independent variable as long as we're just determining the relationship. But in linear regression, so we need to identify which is the dependent and the independent variable. And we do have this form of the linear regression, which is y equals to a plus bx. By the way, in this format, y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. It means what? Because x is independent, it means that what for whatever value of x we input or we use, then there is a corresponding value for y. So um in between two variables, so when it comes to the regression, we need to identify, we need to be careful in identifying which is independent, wherein the value of the dependent variable will be based on. Then we do have here A. This is actually an intercept. And then we do have B, which is the coefficient of X. What are this A and B? This will actually be from the result of the linear regression. So if we are going to use an application in determining the linear regression, so automatically it will give us the values of the A and the B, which later we are going to substitute it in this form so that we're gonna have an equation. So we have here an example. So as what you can see, these are the scores of 20 cadets in math course outcome and examination. So course outcome and examination. So in the course outcome, so these are the scores. And in the exam, these are also the scores. If you can remember, well, I told you a while ago that there should be a pairing. For example, cadet number one's score in the course outcome is 71. So opposite it or beside it is his exam score in the mathematics major exam, wherein he got 58. Okay, so on and so forth until cadet number 20. So what are we going to do with this? The first one, we're going to determine the correlation coefficient, followed by interpreting it. So if you can remember, we do have the table a while ago, so showing the coefficient and then the corresponding interpretation, whether it is perfect negative correlation, high negative correlation, no correlation, so on and so forth, up to the positive correlation. Um, Then third, we're going to create an equation for the math exam score based on the course outcome. So in number three, this is create an equation. So this is wherein we are going to do linear regression. So remember the y equals to a plus bx. So we need to know the values of the a and the b, substitute it on the said form, and then we're gonna have our equation. Um, then read properly that it is said for the math exam score. So if it is for the math exam score based on the course outcome, so if we do have this based on the course outcome, it means that the course outcome score will be our independent variable. And therefore, the math exam score will be the dependent variable. The last, we're going to predict the exam score of each of the two cadets that has course outcome score of 82 and 90. Okay, so we will be using the Microsoft Excel. So this is what I was telling. So, well, so let us have the Microsoft. So it is already here. Class, so before you use the Excel in correlation and regression, so you need to see to it that you encoded the data. So you should have two sets of data. So actually the data are already here. So the scores of 20 cadets. Next, in Excel, so you need to look at this upper portion here. So home, insert, drop, page layout, formulas, data. You click on data. So that is in between formulas and review. Okay. Then you try to look at your screen if you do have the data analysis. So if you don't have, because supposedly it should be here on the upper right corner here in this portion. So what you need to do is you can actually add that in your Excel. So with your laptop, so you just go to File and then Options. You click on Options. So we have here General, Formulas, Data, so on and so forth. You click on Add-ins. After clicking in Add-in, so as what you can see, we do have active application add-ins and then inactive application add-ins. So you just click Analysis Toolpack. You click on it. Then you click Go. Then you check the Analysis Toolpack. Okay? Then you click OK. So it appeared here, the data analysis. So I hope you follow the steps. Next. So since you already have here the data analysis, so we're going to click it. So the first thing that we need to do is we're going to do first the correlation because we are asked of the correlation coefficient. So we need to determine. So you click on correlation, you click OK, and then in the input range, so simply you're just going to select from the label. So course outcome, then exam score, actually the two sets of data. So down to the last pair of values. That's it. Okay. So you have to check labels in the first row or labels in first row because in our data, so we selected the labels also, the course outcome um and the exam score. Next. So okay, you click OK. Then there is a sheet that appeared. So do not worry if, well, the table a while ago containing the data seemed disappear. It's just here. Okay. So you can go back to the added sheet that appeared. So we already have here the correlation coefficient. And where is that correlation coefficient? It is actually this value. Okay. Actually, this will always be 1 because that is course outcome, it is always 1. What we need is the course outcome and the exam, the intersection. So this cell. So you just go to home, you reduce the number of decimal places. You click this, decrease decimal. So just 5, like that. And then this cell, you just copy it. So Control C, place it here or copy it here. So you paste it there. Okay. So this is our correlation coefficient. So going back to our PowerPoint, so we already have the correlation coefficient. Later we are going to interpret it, or actually, well, if you want, you can interpret it already. However, I do suggest that you do the regression after computing for the correlation. Okay? So, how are you gonna do the regression? Remember, the regression will be needed in number 3 because you need to come up with an equation. But do not worry for the number 2, the interpretation, we're gonna have it after computing for the regression. Okay, now, for regression, go back again to the data. So that is in between the formulas and the review. You select the data analysis. Then this time, we're gonna do regression. So you just look for the regression. So it is here before sampling. So regression. Click OK. And then this is what I was telling a while ago. You need to be careful. So because you need to determine which is the independent variable, which is the dependent variable. The dependent variable is your y. That is dependent variable. If we're going to go back to our PowerPoint, so it is said predict the exam score. This one, number 3. So create an equation for the math exam score. So that is the dependent one. And that would be our um that would be our y. Okay, so going back to the PowerPoint, or rather the Excel. So we do have y. So be sure that your cursor is here. And then you can already select the exam score. So select the 20 values. And then for the x is the independent variable. So it is, well, in the PowerPoint we're in, it is said based on the course outcome. So that is our X. So cursor, put it here, and then select the course outcome scores. Okay, so you can try to check. So on C, we do have exam score. So that is our dependent variable. And then B, column B. So we do have the course outcome. So we do have the independent variable. After that, you just click OK. So another sheet appears. So we're just going to adjust the width. Okay. So as what you can see, we do have here the summary output of the regression statistics. So for the multiple R, if you notice, we do have here a value of 0.64029. This one, I'll just highlight. This is actually the correlation coefficient. So correlation coefficient. If you notice, on the previous sheet, when we did the correlation, it is the same value here. What does it mean? It means that when you do the regression analysis, the linear regression analysis, automatically you'll also gonna have the correlation coefficient. For the reason that in order for us to make an interpretation based on the result of the regression, we need first to know if, well, if there is a relationship between the variables or none. So that is the reason why the regression also gives the well, at the same time gives the result or the correlation. So that is if we're gonna have the output. Now, so what is important here? Okay. Another important value here, I'll just adjust column F. We do have here the significance F. This one is important. Okay. So we'll just gonna decrease the decimal. So to 3 decimal places. So we do have 0.002. Okay. So what do we do with this significance? In the PowerPoint, on the next slide, okay, so I included here, so note the p-value. This actually is the significance value. When the p-value or the significance value is less than 0.05, then we can say that the result is significant. The result of what? The result of the correlation. If the result of the correlation is significant, then we can interpret the correlation coefficient. So just like in our Excel, so we found out that the significance is 0.002. And since 0.002 is less than 0.05, so therefore we can say, so therefore um we can say that there is a significant relationship between the scores in the course outcome and examination in math. Okay, so that's what we can tell about this p-value or the significance value. Okay. This significance value, if you notice, is also the same as this one, the p-value. Okay, below here. So these are two are just the same. So let us just reduce the decimal like that. Okay, next. Since we can say that there is a significant relationship, so now we can interpret this 0.64029. Okay. So what is the interpretation? Okay. So note, before interpreting, we need to check the p-value, which we already did. If the p-value is less than 0.05, the correlation coefficient can be interpreted since there is a significant relationship between the variables. If the p-value is greater than 0.05, the correlation coefficient cannot be interpreted since there is no significant relationship between the variables. Since a p-value of 0.002 um, is less than 0.05, so this implies that there is a significant relationship between the scores in the course outcome and examination in math. And with a correlation coefficient of 0.64029, this means that there is a high positive correlation between the variables. So where is it from? Okay, it is actually here. This is the table that I showed a while ago when I gave the description of the correlation. Because R is 0.64, so it is in between positive 0.51 and 0.75, being interpreted as high positive correlation. Okay? To continue, so this means that as the score in the course outcome increases, the score in the examination also increases. Or as the score in the course outcome decreases, also the score in the examination decreases. Next, so how can we use, okay, so for the equation, that is for the third because this is already using the equation. So before this, we need to have the equation first. So how are we going to do that? Okay, so remember that in the regression, so we do have the form which is y equals to a plus bx. Okay? So this is the format. So you're just going to substitute the a and the b. And where will it come from? So actually, the a is this. Okay? The value of the intercept. So this one. Okay? So intercept, coefficients, this negative 17.5989. This is our A. So I'll just color it blue. So this is A. And then, which is our B? So this one, the 1.1322. Let us color it. What's this? Peach. Then this is our B. All right. Now let us have our equation. So for the equation, so we're just going to substitute the A and the B. So we do have Y equals, so the value of our A, so you use 4 decimal places, negative 17.5989 plus B. So B is 1.1322. Just don't round it off. And then if we just copied y as it is, so the same with x, you just type x. Okay? And then this is our equation. You can just change the size like that. Okay? So that is equation. Next, let us go back to our PowerPoint. So since we do have an equation already, so how can we use it to predict the examination scores of cadets? Um, Remember that we do have the last item. What is that last item? Going back here, predict the exam score of each of the two cadets. So this is in connection with number 3. After we created an equation, so we're going to use it to predict the scores of cadets given their scores in the course outcome. So we're going to predict the exam score. So the first one has a score of 82 in the course outcome. The other one has a score of 90. So if we know their scores in the course outcome, then we can actually predict what will be their exam in the major. What will be their score in the major examination? Okay. So okay. So remember in our Excel, so we come up with this equation. So we're able to came up with this. Y equals to negative 17.5989 plus 1.1322x. Now, for a cadet with a score in the course outcome of 82, so what you're just going to do is you just substitute his score in the course outcome here on X. So when you substitute, so it becomes, well, like this. And remember, PEMDAS, so you start to multiply 1.1322 with 82. After getting the product, then um, you're going to add it with the negative 17.5989. Then you're going to have a value for the y, which is 75.24. What does it mean? It means that if a cadet has a score of 82 in the course outcome, then it can be predicted that his exam score will be 75.24. Then for the second cadet with a score of 90 in the course outcome, so after substituting 90 to x, multiplying 1.1322, and then adding a negative 17.5989, so he'll gonna have, or it will be predicted that the score would be what? 84.30 in the major exam. So what does it mean? So remember that in the interpretation, going back, it is said that as the score in the course outcome increases, then the examination score also increases. Or when one decreases, the other also decreases. And if you can notice, with the score in the course outcome of 82, Then the other one is 90. So, well, there is an increase when it comes to the value of 82 to 90. And then, with the prediction of the score in the examination, 75.24, then 84.30. So, there's an increase also. Okay, increasing in value. So, well, what does it mean? Um, Again, if the score in the course outcome increases, the score in the examination also increases. Okay? If you're going to well, if you do understand it, that when a student or a cadet performs well in the course outcome, so he studied well, he prepared well, then it will also mean that he'll gonna do well or better in the examination. So for the activity, so we do have this. Consider the table and answer as directed in the given items. So there are two sets of data here, the weights in pounds and then the aptitude scores in percentage of 17 Filipino seafarer applicants.